Hello, my name is Justin, and today we're going to continue talking about Yellowjackets. This is season 1, episode 3, The Dollhouse, and this is the adult timeline. So it starts with Thaisa, who gets an email from her job. It's her opposer, and he is making fun of her cannibal past for his own gain, like to say, vote for Thaisa, she wants to eat your taxes or something. I don't know, I don't like politics, but Thaisa thinks that if she looks around his past, she might be able to find something that she could use. All I want to say about this is, at least I don't believe I said it in the teen video, but they did an amazing job at paralleling scenes, specifically this season, with Thaisa in the past saying she's going to go for a walk, right before this, where Sammy wants to take his dog on a walk, and Thaisa's wife tells her to go with him. So Shauna and Jeff are at breakfast. Shauna is like, hey, like, do you think you can get off work and come help me at the car shop, getting my car fixed, getting our red van fixed? And Jeff's like, no, I can't. Like, we're working late. Like, I don't know. Like, sorry. And so what I have to say about this is I think Shauna is already rationalizing cheating on him, which I guess is fair because he's not telling her the truth, which is that he got himself involved in like a mafia type thing. So he can't help her, and she's taking that as, oh, so you just want to spend more time with that girl. Got it. Love that. I don't know why this just made me feel so much better. I forgot about Misty and Natalie. Okay, so Misty and Natalie are driving to Travis's. Misty is talking about guys, and they stop at a gas station. So, like I said before, and like other people have said, it is really interesting that like we're being shown that guys are not interested in Misty. So what is it with these guys that are just popping up in season 3 that know her somehow and are interested in her? And she's like, I need to solve a murder. But we're not worrying about that right now. We are worried about season 1 and at the gas station. So Natalie is like, do you want to like go in and like get like me some chocolate or something? Like, Misty's like, why don't you like come in with me? And Natalie's like, that's fine, you can go. And Misty kind of just gives her a smile and struts inside. Natalie looks in Misty's glove department, or glove box, whatever it's called, and finds the part of her car that is the reason her car didn't start. So she knows that it was Misty who kind of stopped her from going to Travis's without her. Natalie and Misty's relationship definitely has a different vibe now that we know for sure Natalie knows about the box and that they were both the reason that everyone got home. Like, I'm rewatching this through that lens, and it's all I can like pick up on, like their little like looks and stuff to each other. Like, all I can think about is that they really are probably the closest out of all of them because they helped each other get out of there. I mean, on top of the van, but really Misty and Natalie. So Shauna is stalking out Jeff. She watches him leave work. He has a gift in his hand, and he is going to a hotel. When Shauna arrives, she sees him go inside with a girl, and you know that it's actually really sad because like Shauna is not a good person, but like I do feel for her. I mean, like, okay, this is what's hard about Shauna, is because you start to feel bad for her, and then you remember like the actual circumstances, and it's like, oh no, maybe if she was just more like, maybe if they both were communicative with each other, like any of this wouldn't have happened. But on some level, I do feel bad for Shauna because she's like watching her husband like give this present to this younger girl, and that's heartbreaking. I feel bad for her. I'll continue to feel bad for Shauna. It's not accepting the things she's done, but you know, it's a reason. Thaisa calls Jessica. She wants to make sure none of the other Yellowjackets are talking. And the reason that is because she doesn't want anyone to like ruin her campaign. And Jessica's like, oh, you want dirt on your op? I got you. And she tells Thaisa about her, Thaisa's opposer's daughter, like being a drug addict or something. Like, so Sammy pushes a kid off the playground after punching him. So Thaisa gets off the call with Jessica, and they wrap it up at the park and they go home. So Thaisa and her wife are talking about Sammy, and then she goes on to talk about what her opposer is saying to like get a one-up on his campaign. And she's like, I don't know, I just feel like we need to hit back. And her wife is like, our child just hit someone. Like, so Thaisa tries to talk to Sammy about what he did, and he gets a little rude. And she tells him to go to his room after taking his doll and putting it atop a bookshelf. I guess it does make sense that Thaisa would turn into an adult who would do anything to make sure that her past isn't coming out solely for the reason that it could ruin her future. And that's really what I think, like, why she broke up with Van. And I think it's just intriguing how Thaisa gets at some points, and kind of how it doesn't really fit with who she is by season 3. You know, like, she's very reckless. The whole team are. Like, they're not doing anything under the table. Like, they're very abrasive about the bad shit they're doing. So Natalie and Misty make and break into Travis's house, and they're looking into his stuff. Natalie finds a picture of him and her on his dresser, and she sees his reflection, which kind of freaks her out. And that is a little odd. I wonder if that's like an hallucination, or if that is like an actual like paranormal, like Travis is with her, you know? We still don't have the answer if it's going to be mental or if it's going to be spiritual. I'm leaning more towards mental. But I really think that the overall factor, like, end all for that answer would be the bonus episode, which we might not ever get, but I'm holding out hope that we're gonna somehow have it tied to season 4. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's like the final episode for the series, because I think on some level that kind of makes sense to have the whole story play out and then give us that bonus episode. Misty, while looking through Travis's trash, finds his check stub. Natalie says that the alcohol he was drinking was very expensive when a cop arrives. So what I have to say about that, it's kind of just saying that where would Travis have got this expensive alcohol if he wasn't working that great of a job, you know? So a cop arrives and arrests them for breaking in. Misty or Natalie like that, with Misty like, oh, jail time. So Shauna is trying to manipulate the front desk lady at that hotel to give her the room number that Jeff went into. And she's like, I can't do that for you, ma'am. And Shauna's like, okay, well, I just need you to give me that fucking number. And the lady's like, I'm sorry, like, I can't. And so Shauna's like, okay, you're clearly not hearing me. I work for an agency, okay? And I don't want to have to pull out my badge, but I will if it's needed. And this is when Adam comes up and saves her from embarrassing herself further. And he's like, hey, we have a call you gotta take. And she's like, oh, it's very important. He's right, I gotta go. Okay, have you ever seen that video of that little girl who's like, I love my class, but there's one little boy, and then like the teacher takes the microphone and she struts off and she's like, you're right, I said too much. That's kind of how I feel about Shauna being like, oh, you're right, I'm doing too much right here. So he takes her for a drink. Misty and Natalie are in a cell, but they're able to get a call. So this is when we cut to Thaisa, who's looking at a picture of her op's daughter when she gets a call from Natalie. Natalie wants her to get her out, but Thaisa won't because it'll make her look bad for her campaign. I fucking hate politics. I hate politicians. Destroy it all. Sorry, Thaisa. I love her, not her job. So Misty makes her call, and we find out it's Kevin Ting, but we'll get back to that. Shauna and Adam are having drinks, and he clocks she is there for something, then flirts with her. She's kind of giving into it when she sees Jeff and that lady walk behind him. So Misty calls Kevin and he bails them out because he thought she was Natalie, which I don't really know how, because like they don't really sound alike. I just feel like I would know that it wasn't the person I'm intending to talk to talking to me on the other phone. You know what I mean? Like if I called my sister and it was one of her friends that was pretending to be her, I think I would clock that. Like, I don't know what that says about Misty's acting skills or about Kevin's obliviousness. I don't know. Taissa visits Sammy in his room and he tells her she's not the bad one, which I find a little interesting because it's like, were they going for Sammy being a hereditary type of the other? Or was he just offish because the other was like scaring him? Another thing that's kind of just dropped off, kind of annoying. After she visits Sammy, she calls Phil and tells him that she knows about his daughter, and if he does another move like what he did, she will destroy him. So what has Taissa done ever that's made her terrifying? You know, like she hasn't done anything that the others haven't already done. She has the other in her, so I don't know, like if she is in fear of the other, so she uses the other to put fear into others. If that makes any sense. I'm sorry, I'm like using the same word, but I don't know. I guess it's just like you're telling me Taissa is like down to ruin someone's life, but like I've never seen that. So to me, it's giving like all talk. So Taissa wakes up and she goes downstairs when she steps on the doll eye from Sammy's doll. So she goes into the basement where the doll is completely destroyed with both of his eyes out. Scary. Like, was that Sammy? Like, I think something that's kind of irritating me a little bit about the show is I heard someone call it Pretty Little Liars syndrome, which is very accurate because Pretty Little Liars does a good job at like setting up mysteries and then like never following through with them. And that's kind of how I feel with some of these things that are here in season 1. Like we expected it to be answered later on, but we just kept getting more questions and some answers to some things. And so I guess I just don't really understand what there is to fear from Taissa. Like, what am I supposed to be scared of her because of the other? Like, I don't know. Like, Taissa hasn't really like ever done anything that's made me go like, oh, I would be scared to like be in a room with her. Like, you know, you can say that for like Teen Shauna, Teen Lottie, Teen Misty, but like, I don't know. Like, I mean, Van's never done anything, but the show's not actively trying to tell me that Van is dangerous. And the only thing that's dangerous about Taissa is the other, which we're at a point in the show where it's like, was that ever even a thing? Or was Taissa kind of just like she was forcing those memories to not arise, which created the other. She was forcing herself to not be scared. She was forcing herself to not be vulnerable, which created this vicious thing. I guess I'm just kind of confused on that. So I really hope we get some more clarification on if there actually is the other or if it's all Taissa, what that meant for Sammy. Like, I don't know. I guess it could just be the case that it's a physical representation of not dealing with your trauma and it being something that consistently arises because you've never dealt with it. So it coming out of Sammy is just another way for it to appear because Taissa's never dealt with her trauma. So Natalie and Misty go to Travis's job, hoping to find him, when they walk upon his body hanging from the crane. Natalie falls to her knees and Misty is trying to help her get into the car. Natalie's like pushing her away. She's a wreck. And Misty's like, when they're in the car driving home, because the cops are coming, they don't want to get in trouble for this. Misty shows her note she found. And it was one of those things where it wasn't like the actual note, but it was like the page under it indented from the note written over it. shaded over so you can read what was written on the paper above it. Sometimes I say things and I feel like this makes no sense, so I'm sorry. This isn't a laughing matter, though. Travis is dead. Natalie is heartbroken. There's no need to laugh. And that's actually the end of the episode. With Natalie saying that Travis wouldn't have killed himself, and not knowing what the hell she was right about, other than that she knows for sure that he wouldn't have done that. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you thought of Yellowjackets episode 3, the adult timeline. And goodbye.